Yo, it's Two Side Anime here, and I'm back with another short video about Boruto 2 Blue Vortex before I hit the gym. And today, I want to explore the question, is Boruto 2 Blue Vortex becoming a one-man show? After the events of the latest chapter, a lot of people are saying that Boruto is stealing the spotlight from any other character within the series. Crazy as that may sound, because Boruto is the MC of this series. People really believe this, and they are upset that Boruto saved Sarada twice, once from Code and also from Hidari, and Boruto interrupted the fight where Hima was using her true power for the first time. And we have the Kawaki fans saying that Kawaki hasn't gotten any type of character development since the start of the series. Being the person that can actually read, I have to disagree with every single one of these statements. The first and easiest one to debunk is the Kawaki statement. Are people forgetting that part 1 of Boruto was all about the character of Kawaki? Boruto as a character got some development, but most of everything that took place in the series was focused around Kawaki. I remember we used to complain about how anytime Boruto gets the chance to show his full power in a battle, somehow in some way it got interrupted. Like when Boruto released V2 of his Karma Seal, he got a heart attack in the middle of his fight against Code. And after that, Kawaki achieved his V2 state and went up against Momoshiki, Code, and saved Naruto's life. Let's not forget how you guys used to say that Kawaki was the true MC of the Boruto series and how he's single-handedly the best character there. So it's kind of funny watching you guys complain that Boruto is getting his well-deserved shine into the time skip. Let's move into why Boruto 2 Blue Vortex isn't a one-man show, and I don't really understand what people are complaining about. The first point is, at the end of Boruto's Next Generations, Boruto had his life stolen from him, and every single person in the world turned against him. Why harboring the global threat with such a cliffhanger at the end of Boruto Next Generations? It only makes sense that we are focusing on the character of Boruto. Still, this is where knowing how to read and understand the narrative within the series really becomes important. Let me explain this to the ones that actually need some help. After the events of Sasuke being sealed into a tree, and somewhere between Boruto meeting Kashin Koji, Boruto received a prophecy, or was able to see into the future using Momoshiki's abilities to see the end of the world. Whatever Boruto saw within that vision, he's been actively trying to fight against. Boruto is privy to knowledge of the future that only Kashin Koji knows about, and this is why the two characters have teamed up. Let me break this down. 1. Boruto has knowledge of the future that nobody else had. 2. The worst case scenario was the awakening of the God Tree clones. 3. The God Tree clones awaken. 4. Boruto knows he doesn't have enough strength to defeat these creatures on his own. 5. Boruto is actively looking for help, and the only person he believes that can help him is Kawaki. You need to understand those 5 components to understand the direction of the next couple of chapters of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. First one explains why Boruto is receiving a lot of the spotlight of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, because he's the only character besides Kashin Koji that knows about the future and how dark it's about to become. So he's actively working against it. He's trying to burden that dark future by himself. Boruto believes if he burdens this issue by himself, it will minimize the amount of casualties. Further prove my point, in chapter 6, when Boruto jumped up in the air after being attacked by Mitsuki off guard, he says, "I swear to rescue Master Sasuke and everyone else who has turned into trees as well." These are the words of a character that wants to burden the fate of humanity by himself, the solitude of the strongest. Two Side, why is this important for the next couple of chapters? Well, it's simple. Boruto has no choice to tell Sarada and Hima about the future he foresaw using Momoshiki's abilities. With Hima and Sarada becoming new targets of the God Tree clones, everything is spiraling out of control, and Boruto is realizing he can't handle this by himself, so he has to confide in the only people that will trust and believe him. 2 and 3 go hand to hand. Boruto was actively trying to stop the awakening of the God Tree clones, but the God Tree clones awakened. 2 and 3 also tie in with 1, Boruto being the only person that saw this dark future. He's the only one that knows about this future, so he tried to burden everything by himself by stopping Code. This is why Boruto set up a surveillance system within the Leaf Village using the toads, so he can use the flying Raijin to enter the village whenever. Explains how Boruto was able to drop in on Code and stop him when he was about to attack attack Sarada. From that point on, Boruto one-tap code so he can get to Jigen's Ten Tails and destroy the Ten Tails, but he was too late. The awakening of the God Tree clones happened. In that short fight within chapter 4 against Boruto and the God Tree clones, Boruto undid his jutsu on Code and asked him for assistance to fight against these creatures. Code left Boruto, and Boruto almost lost his life if it wasn't for the help of Kashin Koji's toads and his flying Raijin. Kashin Koji confirmed this at the end of chapter 4 by asking Boruto, "Are you trying to end this world? Don't ever be that rash again." Kashin Koji follows up by saying, "But you knew there was a high chance of this happening," again reaffirming that Boruto foresaw the future. The strongest character in the series, named Boruto Uzumaki, had to run away from the God Tree clones for his own safety. I'm really confused in why people actually thought Hima and Sarada were going to be able to put up a good enough fight. And no, I'm not saying Sarada is weak. Sarada is going to get her shine. Her character arc is coming in the next couple of chapters. I already explained that in my Sarada video, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. But this is the first time we saw the God Tree clones get active within the series. So of course they weren't going to take any L's. Jura did his thing, Hidari did his thing. And I'm kind of glad Hima and Sarada didn't really win or do too much against this antagonist cast, because this is why Kara as a group fell short for a lot of the fandom. Kara was hyped up to be some of the most strongest characters we've ever seen in the verse. They really didn't do much. They all got packed up. Delta got packed, Victor got packed, Code is an embarrassment. What did Boro even do? And Jigen, he was different. Kashin Koji was different. But outside of that, the Kara organization, they just weren't hitting on anything. So why would they make the same mistake with the God Tree clones? Either way, components 2 and 3 are very important, because now Boruto has to confide in Sarada and tell her the truth. Hima's going to learn the truth from the Nine Tails, and now their character arcs are going to start. Sarada is going to have something to fight for. Hima is going to have something to fight for. This leads us to the 4th and 5th component, Boruto realizing that he's not strong enough to carry this burden alone. Subconsciously, Boruto knows he's not strong enough to stop the God Tree clones by himself. That's why he undid his jutsu on Code and asked Code to assist him. Let's not forget chapter 9, when Boruto asked Kawaki for assistance to go against Jura and Hidari when they were attacking the Leaf Village. Deep inside, Boruto understands he doesn't have enough strength to defeat the God Tree clones alone. Unfortunately, it's hard for him to find allies with the effects of omnipotence. He is enemy number 1 for the shinobi world. We all know Boruto represents the soul of the shinobi, and teamwork is a big aspect of that concept. This was displayed perfectly in the war arc, and also a nice callback to chapter 58 of Boruto New Generations. In this chapter, Kawaki wasn't understanding the concept of teamwork, and Boruto had to beat some sense into him. At the end of that fight, Boruto standing over Kawaki and says, "Don't carry it all on yourself alone. Lean on us more. We're your friends." It's crazy now, because of omnipotence, Boruto has to carry the burden of the future on his shoulders all by himself. And that brings us to the last component, component number 5. Boruto understands he needs Kawaki's help. This may be a little shaky now that Boruto knows that Kawaki really wasn't training as much as he should have during the time skip, but at the end, this is perfect for Kawaki's character. Kawaki got one shot by Jura and also got one shot by Boruto, both his enemies. And now Jura is after Hima. In the latest chapter, chapter 11, Delta asks a very important question. Kawaki, what are you going to do against Jura if you weren't able to do anything against him when you first fought him? And Kawaki really didn't have an answer. He just knew deep inside he has to protect Hima. And I love how this chapter tied in with the anime version of Kawaki. We all know in the anime, Kawaki and Hima had a very close relationship. This is going to push Kawaki down 2 paths. A path where he's seeking more power through the enhancements of Amado, or him finally realizing he's going to have to team up with Boruto to stop the God Tree clone. This chapter was a 10 out of 10 setup chapter for the rest of the series. You just have to pay attention to the writing. And if you don't believe me, let's just wait for the next 5 chapters and then come back and listen to this video. You're going to see what I'm talking about. But that's it for the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and I'm out.